But I don't want to talk about any of those things tonight because you already know those. We'll save those for another night. I've narrowed this speech down to 3 main topics: mystery, legacy, and love. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a kinetic learner, right? I like to move around a lot. So I got hand motions for you to help you memorize these so you can remember them the rest of the day, the rest of your life. We got mystery, legacy, and love. Got it? All right, do it with me. Mystery, legacy, and love. Perfect. We're going to start with mystery. The mystery of human development. So my little guy, Jack, about a year now, I have no idea how we give him mushed up broccoli and he turns it into an eye or a liver or whatever. Like that seems impossible. How could that possibly be? How could I give him this mushed up vegetable and it turns into a heart, turns into blood, turns into hair? Like that boggles the mind. You know, there's 3 great mysteries of our earthly existence: the universe, the ocean, and human development. I mean, the universe, we have no idea what's going on up there. Just read an article the other day about black holes and how they don't even know if they exist or not. There's giant fields of study based off of the existence of black holes, but they're not even sure if black holes exist at all. The ocean, we've only explored 5% of the ocean. Think about that, 5%, that's it. And there's a period of human development. That's what we're going to talk about first. There's this period of human development. We have no idea what's going on. No idea. This period, it's called the black box. Do you know we discover 20,000 plants and animals every year? Did you know that? We discover 20,000. That's 54 a day. 54 new plants and animals are discovered every single day around this world. But forget about knowing all the plants and animals on this world. Forget about knowing all the planets in the universe. We have no idea what happens in human development from the days 14 to 25. That's the black box. We have no idea. So they kept trying and trying and trying to come up with the perfect solution, the perfect bath, where they could grow this embryo just one more day. And they finally did it. They made it to day 6. And then they made it to day 7, and 8, and then 9, and then 10, and then 11, and then 12, and then 13, and then 14, and then they stopped. Why'd they stop? Could they keep going? Probably. Every scientist around the world, all over the world, not a single scientist will grow an embryo in a petri dish past 14 days. Why not? Because it's too human. At 14 days. This is when, and they were right, the primitive streak begins to form. This is when the cells first line up and form what will become the spinal cord. Think about this, and you compare it to what the world says, right? The world says that this isn't a human life until it's born, or unless the mom wants it or something. But even these scientists who you'd think would be desensitized to this, they say it's life. And a lot of people say that, pro-lifers, you don't believe in science, or you're anti-science, or some such nonsense. The opposite is true. Science is finally catching up to you. Here's what I mean. This whole thing that I'm talking about, this all started, do you remember the year? 1978, that's right. 1978 is when all this in vitro stuff first started. 1978. Now, when it started in 1978, that black box was even bigger. Do you remember when Roe v. Wade was decided? 1973. 5 years before this science even began. So like I just said, it's not that you're anti-science. The opposite is true. Science is finally catching up with you and what you have known to be true all along, and that this is human life. Fortunately, they decided to get a second opinion, and they chose adoption. Now get this, I'm going to jump to the end of the story. 30 years later, this baby girl grew up to be a mom of her own. She reached out to her birth dad. They got reunited. Do you know what she's doing now? She has 5 kids. 2 of them she adopted from Liberia. She met these 2 kids while doing mission work for her church. These 2 kids are blind. Not only that, but she works in a building that used to be a Planned Parenthood. Do you know what she does as a profession in that building? She's a midwife. She delivers babies inside a former Planned Parenthood, just like the one that maybe her mom and dad were going to abort her at 30 years prior. You know, you've heard before that people say it's just a potential life. Right? It's just a potential life. Close. It's not a potential life. It's a life with potential. Maybe even the potential to grow up and save other people's lives too. First day of kindergarten, first haircut. Jack had his first haircut the other day. Oh, he's priceless. Mom cried the whole time. All right, Dad cried a little too. These priceless memories. What are they worth to you? Now imagine you giving those memories to another family. What's that worth? There's a number, it's on your heart. I challenge you to listen to your heart. Give that number. Because these things are absolutely unforgettable, and they're priceless. I was telling a friend of mine that I'm going to be speaking at a pro-life group, and his wife overheard and told me this story. She said in college, a friend of hers had an abortion when she was in high school, and they were walking out somewhere and they saw a display with different, what a baby looks like, what a fetus looks like at different stages. And this girl, she just saw it and broke down crying, fell on the floor sobbing. And no one, they didn't know that she had an abortion in high school. They didn't know. And she kept saying, I didn't know, I didn't know, I didn't know. You know. Please spread the word. Tell everyone. Tell everyone the truth. Tell everyone what abortion really is, and tell everyone what life really looks like. Because you know, and not enough people do. And this truth saves lives. Don't wait for it to be done in D.C. Don't wait for that. Listen, fight for that, right? We're all going to fight for it to be done in D.C., but don't wait for it. Don't wait for it to be done in the Supreme Court. It's got to be done one person at a time. It's the only way to do it. And honestly, it's the only way I'd want it to be done. Because that's love. All right, I want to speak just to the men in this room. Men, it is your job to protect the vulnerable. We're raising our baby boy. That's the top priority. Jack, you are a young man who protects the vulnerable, whatever that looks like. And I think in our society today, who can be more vulnerable than the unborn? And just like those first responders charge into the shooting, just like they marched up the stairs and busted down the door, you are saving lives just as profoundly and just as heroically. Men, we desperately need you. in the pro-life movement. There's no more righteous fight. Please give generously. Please give what your heart is calling for you to do.